Are you looking for stories of business innovation and resilience? Right now, you can tune into the Wondery podcast, How I Built This, to catch bonus episodes sponsored by Klaviyo. These episodes explore the journeys of up-and-coming entrepreneurial phenoms like Fishwife, diving deep into some of the practical challenges businesses face. With the insight of some special guests, you won't want to miss this. So, are you ready to get inspired? Check out How I Built This, sponsored by Klaviyo, wherever you get your podcasts. And make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Christopher, listeners, I could not accurately impart to you how thrilling it is to me the once or twice a year that I get to wake up and have the universe let me know that Rachel Dolezal is once again in the news.
Well, you know that people have been coming out of the woodwork to be like, you must fix her. And I was like, honey,
bitch, we've been fixing her, as they say.
Yeah.
If you go, it's like episode -4. I mean, maybe she will be the first person we do a double fix on, because
a live fixing. We need a girl. Come on in.
Rachel, she is a racist onion that keeps peeling back layers year after year and giving us more chapters in a book that we thought was closed. Rachel Dolezal, race faker, teacher, OnlyFans model,
educator,
former head of the Spokane NAACP, mother, daughter, friend.
Published
Rachel
author.
Dolezal. She is a published author. Published artist. My co-workers for my birthday several years ago gave me a Rachel Dolezal print of one Ruth Bader Ginsburg, both pioneers in their own way. One very positive, one Rachel Dolezal. Rachel Dolezal has been fired from her latest job, which apparently was an elementary school teacher, when they found out that she had an OnlyFans. And in a shock of shocks, it turns out that that's just some sort of morality violation of the elementary school teacher code. Now, I don't know that she was like going full. I don't know how to phrase it.
I don't want to know.
I don't think she was going full bush on this OnlyFans. I think it was just like erotic and not.
Yeah, like me in sexy underwear, like
sort of,
or like feet pics,
or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, but all I know is I go right to the source when she's in the news, and I went to her Insta page, and there was just a story of her looking lovely as always with the graphic "Keep on living." I mean, what else are you gonna do, Rachel? She was also tan as fuck. Like, this is someone who, Rachel Dolezal, say what you want about her. This is someone who does not give a fuck.
No. And it's funny because, like, I don't know. It's just like, you want to, like, there were parts in our episode with her where we're like, okay, like, her parents were monsters. Like, here are all these reasons that, like, we can kind of see why she did what she did. Not that we agree with it at all, but, like, I see the road that she took to get here, and, like, that is sad. And then something like this happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, when will it end?
It won't.
When will it end?
This is not, it's supposed to be over. Rachel Dolezal's story is supposed to be over. She's not going to stop until someone asks her to host the BET Awards. Rachel, it's never going to happen. You need to choose another line of I don't even know how to fix you at this point. And you've tried everything. When you're a model and a teacher simultaneously, you are just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks.
And, like, when is it not, like, how much money do you need? I mean, on OnlyFans, I feel like she probably is raking in the cash. Maybe not, but
I don't think she is. I think that's the problem.
I mean,
right. No, first of all, teachers are angels on earth, but, like, if you're looking to make money, that ain't the job.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what?
So are you suggesting that she became an elementary school teacher just like for drinking money because she was raking it in on the OnlyFans?
No, I'm saying like, why have this many? But I guess I'm now realizing that comment was stupid because it's like, no, she needs like multiple streams of income because she's trying to get it. Like she's scraping together a living just like all the rest of us.
Well, her son, who I can't remember if this is her biological son or the son that was the brother that she adopted, but he got married maybe about 2 weeks ago. So I follow Rachel Dolezal regularly anyway, just for reasons of mental instability. But so she's always in the news for me, basically. Like I know what this bitch is up to at all times.
Yes.
But 2 weeks ago, she was in Australia. Her son got married. He's an adult. Like I think she might have one other child that's close to adulthood. But I was already in the headspace of, by the end of this calendar year, Rachel Dolezal could be a grandmother. And then it's sort of like the universe said, I have something better for you. She's trying to be Mary Poppins, but she can't because her titties are out online. And this is a different story. So it's going to be the year of the Dolezal once again. Oh, excuse me. I keep forgetting it's pronounced Dolezal.
Well, you know that's not even her name anymore, right? It's
I know.
It's the artist formerly known as Rachel Dolezal.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has I believe it's a Nigerian name, Nkechi Diallo, which people are acting so surprised about. And I'm as a, what would we call like the Dolezal fans of Dolezal's? Of Rachel Dolezal. I feel like the answer is a racist, so we should. Yeah,
nothing we say is going to be
I'm not a racist.
Funny.
I'm just a fan of Rachel Dolezal for purely circus reasons.
I don't know.
I'm just thrilled she's not gone. I don't care what she's doing. As long as she's not like punching anyone in the face, I'm just glad she's still here.
Yeah.
God
what could she do? I'm trying. Okay, let's think. What jobs could she do that aren't like she'll get fired for having an OnlyFans? Like work in a factory,
Waffle House,
work at the Waffle House with Lana Del Rey.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine them on a shift together?
Be a publicist. Wait, Dominic, be a publicist.
She could be our sidekick. Many people have been saying recently, I want to be your third co-host. I would throw it out to her in a heartbeat in a very reduced role.
We would fight with her every episode.
She could do things like press play on my phone when we're doing fun like award show songs.
Truly a sidekick that's just there to like facilitate tasks. Like,
or maybe I think she's on Cameo. Maybe each week we pay her in Cameo money to be the person who announces the actual middle name of the celebrities. Maybe that's how we get her in here.
And then we give her money.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she has children, so it's not like it's going to go. It's not all just going to hair pieces.
No, I think
although a lot of it is.
I really truly do think that she's like doing it to like raise her children. Like I do think her like intentions are pure in the sense of like I need money, and now that I'm
just
like,
working a
national joke, I can't like get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I want to. Yeah, she needs to work at a factory and just like never show that.
Let's move down our list, Chris. We have a pair of Kellys that are equally absorbing some backlash on the landscape this week. Kelly Rowland, maybe you've heard of her.
I have.
She was one of the others in the Beyonce and Destiny's Child trio from many years ago.
Yeah.
Well, she's got some new project happening. I think it's something on Netflix, but apparently she was supposed to co-host the third hour of the Today Show with Hoda Kotb, and her dressing room was too small. So she grabbed her team and said, no, thank you, and left. While the second hour of the Today Show was actively live broadcasting. And in a stroke of true subversive pop culture genius, Rita Ora was brought in to replace Kelly Rowland.
Was she just chilling? Like, was she just sitting outside being like, someone's gonna be sick and now I
don't know. I don't know, but just that's a name you don't hear very often either.
Sure
and so
isn't.
for that to be the person who replaced her was just sort of like, what?
And well, she's married to one of the like most famous directors like of today, basically, and she still has.
Who is Kelly or Rita? I really don't know this.
Rita Ora is married to Taika Waititi, or is with him.
I did not fucking know that.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, and she still has zero career.
Wow.
Yes.
Wowie wow.
Yes.
Well, you and I have both been. Go ahead.
Kelly is someone who like we've all been rooting for since Destiny's Child broke up, and like we all want her to have a career, and she just keeps doing things like this and ruining it.
Well, yeah, because it's very much it's always like poor Michelle. I mean, and we loved Kelly, but Kelly is it's not quite poor Kelly, because Kelly's had some monster hits, and the confusion for me has always been like, why didn't she blow up bigger? Because she's had some monster hits, particularly on like in the gay circuit radio department. I'll be your commander. And there's a whole bunch. What's that?
Motivation.
When Love Takes Over. What about When Love Takes Over? Was like a monster hit. Why is she? I don't know. I don't know what's happened.
Okay, so I have to tell you, I've been to the Today Show dressing rooms before.
Ditto. Yeah, and
they are small.
They are small.
And it's just because the building is so, it's not like that they're like, here, right, like you're like pieces of trash, like get in here. It simply is like the infrastructure of the actual building, like only allows for them to be so big. And they have 97 people like coming through the show every hour. So they need to have many dressing rooms. They need to have many. You're not getting your rider, like, realized here. Like getting a white couch flown in the green M&Ms is not what this is. It's like, here's a room for you to like put your purse and like get your hair and makeup done. And like most of the hosts, like when I was there, Carson Daly was just like in a chair in the lobby of the green rooms, like getting his hair and makeup done, and then like didn't even have a place to put any of his stuff, and like went and like got on stage.
It's like being left in the hallway when you're at the ER. It's just like one of those situations.
One of the hosts didn't even have a green room. So it's like, it's not like everyone had these amazing rooms and then she had like a broom closet. Like most of the hosts don't even have one. Do you know what I mean? It's like
totally. And so I don't know about those side buildings, but I know that 30 Rock itself, the main building, is a shockingly not retrofitted building for the current century. It's very small. And the ceilings, like if you go to Bravo for a meeting, and I'm only 5'4", and I'm staring at the ceiling going, I know people that won't fit in this building. Like I have to bend down. It's very compact. The inside of the building is very, very small.
And it's not like when you go up to do like Hoda and Jen, or you go to the Today Show, like it's like, other than the big normal stage that you can see from the street, that's like where the people hold the signs. If you're on like a different hour and it's in a different studio, like the studio, you can't even be offset. Like you're like in another room watching a monitor. Like it's small. So, and apparently, wasn't it like J-Lo was there, or who we'll be speaking about very, very, very soon?
Yes, don't worry, people.
She was in the nicest green room, and Kelly Rowland was like, fuck this. Like, that's apparently what happened.
Maybe that's what set her off. Maybe there was just preferential treatment. Maybe that sounds like it was probably more of the problem rather than the room was small itself, but I don't know. Judi Dench was also there that day. They had her in an actual broom closet with no light in it, and she said nothing. So that's how you do longevity in this business, Kelly. You just take what they give you and you be quiet.
I wonder but that's the thing, is like, it's like she's not like chilling there forever either. It's not like she's on set the whole time. When she's there for her hour, she's hosting.
Right.
So it's really, I don't know. It's not a good look. I'm not going to lie to you.
Not at all. Let's move on to this next Kelly, who I don't know if you're aware of this, but who is my actual lifelong nemesis, which is Kelly Osbourne. Kelly Osbourne
she's your nemesis?
To me, she's my Howie Mandel. Like,
why?
He is for you.
Why?
She's just always been my nemesis. Like, because she's just I see her in the Village a lot. She's come up to me at the duplex when she sees my friends and I talking. I have several photos with her at the duplex where I look horrified and she's smiling. I've just found her to be the most annoying of the early reality star fame people. And I've never gotten it. And she is consistently someone who acts woke and cool and all this shit, and then like once a year says something where you're like, oh, I see you, bitch. Like this isn't you at all. You're like MAGA level. Like
approaches you at the duplex.
She has approached me twice. I've seen her 3 times outside at the duplex. One time my friends and I saw her, and it was maybe when they repealed DOMA. There was a big celebration, and my friend Oscar and I were down there and we took a photo with her. And then 2 other times, she's a celebrity who, if she's not being recognized,
once someone
makes an effort too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, I mean, we've met, I'm not going to name names, but some Bravo people who are the exact same way, sort of like Sally Field in Soap Dish when she goes to the mall on purpose because she needs a little attention. That's Kelly Osbourne. And twice I've been there with friends outside at the Dupe before they had their hut outside their enclosed patio, and we'd be there laughing. And she passed by, and one day she was like, "Oh, someone's in a good mood today," with like the reaction of like, "Oh my God, it's Kelly Osbourne," which everyone at my table did. I folded my arms. I already took a picture with you a year and a half ago. I don't know why you keep stalking my friends and I, Kelly Osbourne. But we're speaking about Kelly Osbourne today because apparently on a recent red carpet, they were talking to her about Ozempic. Now, Kelly Osbourne looks almost like a different human being at this point based on this round of weight loss. And she's on Ozempic. Her mother is on Ozempic and has taken too much of it and now can't gain weight and weighs like 99 pounds. I'm sorry, it's a horror show. Like it's exactly why you shouldn't overdo shit like this. But she's on the red carpet. And when asked about Ozempic backlash, she says, and I am paraphrasing, but I'm catching the spirit here, where she's like, the people that are mad about it are just the ones that can't afford it. Ozempic.
Yeah.
And so she has set off like this absolute firestorm about like getting Kelly Osbourne's name thrown into an argument about universal health care is always a disaster, really. Making fun of the poor, like where do you begin? Kelly Osbourne, you are an expert on absolutely nothing. When you see a red carpet, I want you to wave and walk in the building and take the seat with your picture.
Well, she can't because she sees a red carpet when she sees you sitting on the side of the street. So how do we like? That's not Dominic. I see what you're saying, but simply we know that that's not going to happen. Like but this is the thing, and like never forget that like they are like pioneers of reality television. Like truly, The Osbournes is like one of the shows that has like paved the way for everything we watch today.
I don't put her in that category. She was just a bystander there.
Sure.
I'm not going to give her credit for it.
No, I only say like she has been famous so long, and both of her parents were famous before she was even born, and like it's just so funny when and again, another celebrity we will talk about very soon, Jennifer Lopez, is like
her.
I'm like, oh, here's this. It's like, no, you've been famous my entire life. So like whatever you think you're talking about of what's going on in the world, you don't know anything that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So just don't. Like that is the rule of thumb. When you've been famous my entire life, don't act like you know how the world works because you don't.
But at least Jennifer Lopez grew up, not rich. Like Kelly Osbourne is a person who is like,
that's true.
She just doesn't know any other way other than to like make fun of poor people on the red
which is
carpet.
why she says the things that she does.
Someone else who's been famous your entire life, two women actually, that I just want to shout out. Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey have released a remix of Yes and if you want your dog to be quiet, please play this song in front of them because the whistling contest in this number is pretty epic. I mean, gay people were falling down left and right. When I texted the group chat, it actually came to a silent standstill for a full 5 minutes because we were like, is this really happening, this remix? And we have very little notice to prepare.
However, I'm not going to lie. It left my...
Oh, she bangs. It's absolutely a clit popper. Like, I love it.
I don't know if I do, Dominic.
Oh, I do.
I don't know. This is the thing. I feel like every female pop artist right now is like scrambling to like put out something to be like in the zeitgeist of the like Taylor, Beyonce, like coming out with new music.
Good luck.
Like all of them are like every single person going towards the Grammys was like teasing that they're going to have new music. Every big person is like, oh, and then this, and I'm going to have this era. Everyone's trying to do their eras like situation to do an eras tour. And it's just not, it's just, it's not happening. Like
it very much is like it truly does feel like the entire music industry is like the kids table right now. And at the dais is just Beyonce and Taylor.
Yes.
And you thought at least Adele takes like a few years off, once or fades into the background, does her residency.
She doesn't have that newest album she came out with. No one cared about.
Wow. That's a slam.
It's true. It's true.
That's
though.
A slam.
It's true. 25, I know every word to every single song. I didn't even listen to the whole album of the last, 27 or whatever, 28.
I don't know. I do know that she keeps getting older.
It might be 30.
I think it is 30.
Yeah. But like,
and she looks 45, which is like the most hilarious part about it. Stop. Come on.
She looks beautiful.
She's a drag queen. Stop.
But
she does. She's a beautiful drag queen.
I just think it just seemed like a ploy to try to get some comeuppance off of that. You know what I mean?
Can I ask a stupid question without being shamed into an old age home?
Correct.
Have Taylor and Beyonce released a single together ever?
No.
Okay. That's what the world's going to crack on. Like that's the thing that we can we dream about that? You know what Beyonce should really do just to establish her dominance? She should re-record an entire Taylor album and just call it Beyonce's version.
Oh wait, that's so funny.
1989. Beyonce should slowly start re-releasing Taylor's albums and just Beyonceing them. That'd be great.
It would be so funny. It'd be great to hear the songs with real vocals. So,
slam. Wow, this early in the morning, she is vicious.
A great songwriter, she is. A vocalist, she is not. Moving on.
Let's go across the pond, Christopher. We have a few items in the Royal Watch this week. Oh, we need a theme for the Royal Watch.
Do we?
We'll have one next week. Yes, the answer is yes. Don't you dare. Prince Harry has spoken up about his father being sick and said literally nothing of note.
No,
the news story is that he did an interview and then just said, "My dad's sick and I love him. Please come to the Invictus Games." Period.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And we're changing
which somehow
name. I love him. We're changing our name to be nowhere near them at all.
Here's the other question, which we discussed offline with Kate Casey yesterday, but where is Kate Middleton? Is this dying? The new Shelley? Where is she ill?
Is she ill? I think she's like dying. Like I think like I'm not saying that to be like funny.
No one wishes this. We love Kate Middleton.
Like I just don't like, where is she?
But there is a school of thought, and remember, you're listening to a podcast that, I must remind you, doesn't actually care about the facts. So here's what's rumored. There are some Reddit posts that are saying that she actually has stomach cancer and that she's like very sick and the palace is keeping it under wraps. We should be calling Kristen Meinzer about this to find out what the tea is.
If we can peel her off of CNN to try
I can't. God bless her. I mean, that is amazing. I believe that her career started hitting the stratosphere the moment she appeared on Fixing Famous People. That's just my theory. I don't want to take credit for any woman's success. Mm-hmm. But we are sending our love to Kate Middleton because we don't want these rumors to be true that you're actually sicker than what the palace is saying, because she had pre-planned abdominal surgery and then no one has seen her yet. And it's been a minute. And during that time, half of the rest of the royal family has revealed a cancer diagnosis. Sarah Ferguson, the king, all sorts of nonsense. So Kate, I don't know if you know how much the British Isles needs you, so please do what you can to get better, and we're here for you. But the bigger news about the royal family that we haven't discussed, and it's a few weeks old, is that there is going to be a new television show called Suits LA. While not a continuation of the original Suits, which gave the world Meghan Markle, there is no universe in which Meghan Markle does not appear on Suits Los Angeles. I don't care if the creators, Meghan, her father, that fucked up sister, and Cher herself, if they all say there's no way Meghan's going to make a cameo on this, it is a lie. Suits LA is a shadow project to get Meghan Markle back in the acting game.
And if it's not, why are you making this?
It's utterly pointless. Utterly pointless. Without if they're doing a whole series which doesn't include the old cat. Stop. Everyone stop. Rachel Zane. I can't believe I knew that was the character's name. Rachel Zane is going to be the star of Suits LA. I anticipate an update on this story by summertime, that they've reimagined it and Meghan Markle is now going to be heading up this law firm in Los Angeles.
What a dream. What a dream.
Do we want to talk about this maggots on a plane story, or do we feel like we'll alienate listeners who don't know it because it's so foul? I don't want people steering off the expressway when they hear this one because it is so vulgar. I can't wrap my head around. I don't know. I don't know what I would do in this situation.
We used to do a lot of plane talk before, like back in the day. We used to talk a lot about air travel, and I feel like this is a good hearkening back.
So there's a couple of days ago, I can't remember where this plane was headed to, but a woman is sitting in her seat and maggots start falling on her from the overhead compartment because someone had stowed a bag there and wrapped a fish in newspaper, and maggots were dropping from the ceiling onto her. I am fairly certain that the airline offered her like a $30 voucher and maybe a set of wings to wear. But if that had happened to me, what I think I would have done was probably storm the cockpit and point the plane toward the earth. Like, I wouldn't want to live anymore if a maggot
sued the airline. Sued the airline. How are you getting a fish that is maggot infested through TSA is my question.
How? No, I understand there are no there are no protein detectors in those metal detecting machines, obviously, but you got to be able to see a fish wrapped in newspaper.
When you see an X-ray, you go, that looks like a humongous fish. That's interesting. Let me look further.
Did they think it was a stuffed fish or a fake fish? Also, how long had the fish been there that maggots would form on?
I would scream bloody murder.
I feel
and
like
that's yeah.
No, I don't have anything else to offer on it because I don't want to get too gross because I'm starting to gag thinking about it. But
it's disgusting. All right, let's move
I'm going to follow this story, though. I'm going to have an update on it next week. We're going to have Maggot Watch from now on here, and we're going to absolutely follow the story. I'm going to make sure that this woman is properly compensated. All right, now let's get to two large things that happened this week before we get into our fix. One of them involves a superstar, and one of them involves all of our superstar listeners.
Which one of them involves a superstar, and one of them involves Jennifer Lopez.
I wish I said that.
Okay, moving on.
Well, let's start with Jennifer Lopez then. I have yet to watch the 2024 Master. I promised I was going to watch it, and I have not had a chance. I'm so sorry.
Dominic, I don't know how to prepare you for this.
Is it on Netflix or Amazon?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. So last Friday, J-Lo's, we'll just call it a magnum opus because it really is an indescribable piece of work.
Anything else.
This Is Me. Is it This Is Me or This Is Me Now?
This Is Me Now.
If you hadn't had a chance to see Chris DeRosa's Instagram stories, you really did miss out because he did a frame-by-frame analysis.
I need to throw it into the highlights. So people can see it. It's okay, Dominic. I need you to know that this was a first draft that she wrote, like in a notes app, and then they just turned that into what I saw. And when you watch it, you will text me and you will say this is 100% a first draft. They took there is a whole storyline where there's this star-crossed lovers tale of a hummingbird and roses, and they can never be together. That makes absolutely no sense and has no bearing on the real story. And yet we go back to that motif 97 times. And it is a fever dream. The words fever dream don't even describe what this is. Dominic, I'm so mad that you didn't watch it because you are going to be absolutely dumbfounded in every way.
Well, my not watching it means we can drag the story out another week, which I like. And we're also considering doing a Patreon where we do a frame-by-frame analysis and watch it together. So we are considering that. I cannot wait to see it. Your review was everything that I hoped it would be, particularly the online version. And I truly can't wait.
Just know that at certain points she's a sexy welder in this fantasy world where there's a mechanical heart.
I can't.
Where they're doing dance moves like 2004 crumping dance moves as she starts singing songs and all the rose petals are dying and she's that's what powers this heart. and they're all dying. And so they're like, it's like DEFCON 1. And they're like, she gets in a hazmat suit while she's singing a song and dancing, by the way.
We also this weekend nailed a very specific Jennifer Lopez dance move, which I'm trying to figure out how we do a piece of video of you and I doing this dance. Do we just put it on Instagram, or
we should just self-shoot it and then put it on Instagram to be like, this is when you see another fixie in the world or a listener, you have to like do that to them.
It is right. It was literally, it's a hand. We figured out when Chris did this dance move this weekend, which we'll find a way to show this to you guys. He did a dance move that is a quintessential J-Lo dance move, but also goes along very well as a move to make when you want to say the phrase, what it do, daddy. Who, as if you listened last week, you know that What It Do is a current paramour of mine. And just like J-Lo, Bronx born and bred. So
yeah, Jenny,
there's some sort of connection here between What It Do and J-Lo, choreographically, spiritually, and I'm looking forward
geographically,
yes, I'm looking forward to exploring this connection in the coming months.
Dominick, I just like, there's so much I need to tell you about this, but I can't go, like, I would go on forever. Like,
I'll watch it this week and we'll do a further analysis.
It is absolutely batshit insane. And it's truly like not one thing connects and not one thing makes sense. And not one thing there's no theme that like follows through. Like there's all these elements and they're just there. And she thinks that like she truly wrote this herself. Like you can tell, because not one person said, hey, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like what?
Nobody said no.
No one said no to her once. And she spent $20 million of her own money.
And I believe she did, because I've seen people roll their eyes about that fact. But if you look at something and it feels like nobody said no, that does mean she spent her own money on it.
Yes, because everyone that had money said, well, I'm not making this. And she was like, no one wants to make my vision. And it's like, yeah, because your vision is a pile of horse shit. It is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Fat Joe is her therapist. And that's a grounding thing. Like that is actually like rooted in like you feel grounded when you're in those scenes, when you should feel crazed.
If I'm a newspaper editor and I'm listening to all these nuggets you're dropping, I'm not sure which headline I'm going to use of yours, because you're just giving like bullet after bullet, but I am sort of focused on, quote, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, end quote, Chris DeRosa, Fixing Famous People.
No, Jane Fonda was like, why are you making this? Like that was in a Vanity Fair article.
Jane Fonda is in it. And her review was also, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yes.
And I meant it.
In the credits, when they show everyone, it's like a little video of them, like in a little cute thing that's like, this person has played this thing. Sofia Vergara goes, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done.
I can't. For Jane Fonda and Sofia Vergara being in something together in and of itself screams batshit to me. Like, what could it be?
But usually in a good way. It's you're not ready, Dominick. You're not gonna be okay. I cannot wait. You need to live Instagram story.
I'll do it.
You have to.
Speaking of,
wait. And then at the end of the whole thing, which is an hour long, she then hits us with, oh, P.S. next week I'm coming out with a documentary where I'm telling my story for the first time. I don't know. Dominick, I'm not ready.
Well, that's what we'll be talking about next week. Doesn't the doc come out this week?
I think so. Yeah. Or next week. Or it might be like at the beginning of next week. So,
wow.
I'm lining up to my TV, I guess. Prime is, roping me in.
Well, we've heard about one of the worst things that you've ever seen. One of the best things that we've ever seen is we did our first Fixing Famous People live Zoom this past weekend, and it was a delight. You missed out.
We had the best time.
We had so much fun. It was, the headline was Fixing Normal People, where Chris and I gave advice to non-famous people, listeners of this podcast. And we just had such a good time meeting some of our hardcore listeners, having a couple of laughs, changing some people's lives, getting some advice on our own. It was, dare I say it, a community. is what it was.
And then at one point I was like, okay, obviously we now need to just talk about J-Lo's movie, right? And then we just like went into it. It devolved into madness, but we had the best time, and we are toying with the idea of doing it once a quarter, maybe once a month if people love it that much.
It's gotta be once a month. Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun.
If you're not signed up for the Long Island iced tea tier of the Patreon, you're missing out. I'll just say that, because we had the best time. People came with stories about celebrities,
memorabilia about Chris and I. I mean, it was pretty. It was wonderful.
You know, we got a fact check from a husband of Dame Erin Bagwell, a Bronx native, about our dance move and if he's ever used it on someone. We've gotten. I mean, it was fun. We had a lot of great time.
Whenever I meet listeners out or on the street, they always say, I talk back to you during your podcast and I wish that I was there. This is that.
Yeah.
So, and it was a ton of fun, really. And I'd never done a live Zoom like that for a podcast before. And it was great. It was sort of like the best sort of chaos, because we didn't format it, but it just flowed very well and everyone just had a good time. And it was really nice to meet some of these people that we'd never met before. So we love you, listeners. Thank you.
Yeah, we had the best time and it was great. And I had J-Lo as my background in multiple different ways. I was at the cutting room where Dominick does his holiday shows. And his
listen, you know how you have like that one clown in your office that changes their Zoom background? Well, Chris and I are the people that taught those people how to make their Zoom backgrounds truly fucked up. So that alone is why you should come to these broadcasts. So before we fix this pair of whores that we have lined up today, I would like to say to everybody, please go to the Fixing Famous People Instagram page and like it. I'm asking nicely because we're going to start putting other news and other events there, and we just need some more likes on that page because the number of people who follow that page is not even close to the amount of people who listen to this podcast. So we would love another way, another avenue to sneak into your lives and tell you all this information and show you all these videos. Chris dancing like J-Lo. It's all these things that will be up there that you're going to miss out on. So please do that. And that's it.
I think that our new handshake is what I'm going to call it, the dance move. I think it's the first dance move she does in the whole thing.
I'm hoping that it is.
I think it is.
If it is, when I turn it on, I'll probably need some salts after I watch it because I won't be able to breathe moving on from it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, speaking of salts, let's get to these.
Speaking of salts, yeah, let's get to what do we say here? I always forget. Get into the fix.
Whatever. That's
not sticking. We need to do. I sort of like let's fix some whores, even if they're not. Let's fix some whores.
Yeah. Let's fix some whores with a fabulous guest. All right, she is the host of the world's Oysta podcast, Paula Sanders. Thank you for being with us.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in my favorite game show. Like today is a big day for me, guys. And I've done a lot of like exciting things in my life, but I think today is like top. I'm peaking.
Yes. It is so great to have you here. And I love that we were just on Paula's podcast, actually. And you see people in this little podcast world all the time. You're like, oh, I'll see you soon. And it doesn't always happen, but it has happened now. And we love you. I love
podcast. You guys. I was not going to let it happen. I was not going to let us not see each other again. And you're stuck with me now. So,
And it's like we truly came to your house. We blabbed for like 45 minutes and we were like, I guess we should do the podcast, did the podcast. And then like immediately after we're like, let's sit here and blab for 45 more minutes about absolutely nothing. Like that's when you know that
because we don't talk enough on the podcast.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that has never happened with anybody else that's been on my podcast. So
really? We don't.
No, it's like we were deep key from the beginning. So
yeah,
it's family now.
Yeah. And we were bringing our mob wife. We were bringing our mob wife aesthetic. Like our mob wife aesthetic picture that we posted is in your home.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we should tell people that. That's right.
Yeah, I cannot wait to post that on my feed.
You are here on quite a momentous day to fix a controversial couple. Mm-hmm. Have we fixed a couple before, Christopher?
Yes.
Who? At the same time? Well, I mean, Scandival does not really count, but I'm trying to think if we've ever done like a famous couple because we've split. We did the Duggars. Oh, and of course we did do Will and Jada.
Yeah,
because we felt like they couldn't be separated.
My twin.
Jada, who, by the way, coincidentally, Paula Sanders, who you are listening to on this podcast today, reminds me of Jada Pinkett Smith when I was with her in person.
Who?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Thank you.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
I don't know why there's just something because I mean Jada Pinkett Smith is a lunatic, there's no doubt, but you cannot argue that she's strikingly beautiful, like just has the best skull and structure and face. She's just gorgeous. And Paula looks like her. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, thank God this is just an audio only podcast. And you should believe everything he says today.
Paula's also not black, in case you were wondering. So when you Google her and you're like, well, that can't be the person. That is the person I'm talking about. Put your glasses on.
It's the bone structure. It's the bone structure.
It really is. It's the shape of your head. It's all of it. It's perfect.
Since you said it, I can't unsee it. I cannot unsee it.
I love that. I love that.
It was one of those things that Dominic said, and I went, and then I went,
yeah. Almost me too. Like when it came out of your mouth, I was like, what the? Oh, actually, yeah.
But I'm seeing it now. So obviously you will have to send us your pinklettiest picture for us to put on the Fixing Famous People Insta page for your appearance.
Don't worry. I'll be sending you selfies every day, guys.
Yes. So you are here to fix a couple, as we were mentioning. Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, formerly of Good Morning America. They were removed from the broadcast a little over, I want to say 2 years ago, because they were having an affair at the workplace. These married people, not to each other, were having an affair with each other. And I promise you that this is true, that I woke up and I heard this story on one of the entertainment rag podcasts that I listen to where I get my actual world news. And I heard that two anchors of Good Morning America were having an affair. And I legitimately thought that Robin Roberts was fucking George Stephanopoulos.
You texted me that.
I thought that the world had ended. I was what is this? There's no way this is possible. And then I was introduced to Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, and I said what a lot of people said.
Who
cares? I said, who cares? Who cares?
Well, Dominic, the key word is introduced, because I don't think that the majority of human beings on this planet had any idea who they were.
They did not. They definitely did not.
Yeah,
but
all this happened.
But once we see who they are, and they're both absolutely gorgeous, both individually and as a couple,
Stunning.
And they are both married to other people. And then it turns out that Amy Robach is married to Billy Shue, who used to be on Melrose Place. And his name's not Billy Shue. Billy was his character's name. What the fuck was her husband's name? Andrew Shue.
Oh, God.
I just picture watching Melrose Place and seeing Courtney Thorne-Smith go, Billy! That's all I have in my head. So Andrew Shue, who is on Melrose Place, was Amy Robach's wife and still is just the nicest person. And apparently neither spouse knew this was going on. And
they have children, both of them,
well, and
daughters.
Now,
yep.
Wait, and now the spouses have pulled a Shania Twain and are together.
It's the best part of this whole
It's so
story.
good. And
so
everyone
they launched a podcast.
Yeah.
They launched Amy and TJ launched a podcast. And what happened? It was on the day.
But before that, so this news comes out, they're like immediately fired from, what is it? Good Morning America?
Uh-huh.
GMA, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know that the day that this all comes out, a guest on this podcast was on Good Morning America with them. Are you aware of this, Dominic?
Which guest? I believe I am, actually.
Zero Waste Daniel was doing a spot on Good Morning America. I think about like Earth Day. I think it was about Earth Day and like how you can like reuse something in your life.
Right.
On the day that it is all breaking. And I have been told that everyone was like, crazy day we're having, huh? And like,
oh my God.
Daniel's like, huh? What? Huh? And like, just like, whatever. And then
that is
not
fantastic.
Until exiting the building was like, oh, wow. Oh, my. And yeah. So
if only he'd known, he could have said something to the press and made himself a part of the story.
I can only imagine, though, in that building, the vibes must have been like very PG because GMA is owned by ABC. So it has been, my, what a crazy day we're having here. It's not like the co-hosts are fucking each other. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And it's like they immediately get fired. They immediately are like, they're all over the tabloids. Like the tabloid newspapers are eating them up. They're basically someone else that you've been likened to. They're basically Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, like for 2 days, because that's all anyone is talking about is the two of them.
And they are also, by the way, they are also lapping this up. Like they are appearing in public with their hands inside each other's assholes and their tongues wrapped around each other's necks. And then they go to St. Bart's or some bullshit. And she's in like a string bikini and straddling him, and he's putting whipped cream on her bare breasts, and she is filleting him on a Spirit flight between London and Manchester. I'm making some of this stuff up, but they are literally they like wake up in the morning and scream, I need a camera. And it's just people are following them having their affair while their spouses are back at home and they're like, is anyone going to call us and end these marriages properly? Or am I just going to be watching you on the internet? Period.
And dealing with their children. They're now, by the way, I don't know. Do you listen to the podcast? Do you listen to their podcast?
No. Did you tell us everything?
Yes.
Listen to him.
Tell us. Okay. So
Paula, this is why you're here. Tell us everything.
Okay.
It's
so I had to hop in
trash.
today.
Give us the transcript.
It's absolute trash. So I only listened to one episode, and I listened to the most controversial episode, which the two got into a little lovers quarrel about 2 weeks ago. And it had to do with the fact that they are really having a difficult time communicating and doing this show together because it's very hard work to both record a podcast, book guests. It's hard to work, okay, is basically what the issue was.
Well, when you're an anchor on a thing and all you have to do is show up and talk, yeah, it is hard to actually do real work. Continue.
Especially when you're a full-time adulterer, you don't have time for much else, do you? Amy and Tej.
So they get into a spat, and then get this. He decides, I'm going to just roll. I'm going to invite Amy over because we need to talk about this. And the episode is called Something Ain't Right. Okay. And they turn on their microphones. They have not spoken yet. They have not spoken about the big elephant in the room.
This is
insufferable. They fight for 40 minutes. But there's a silver lining in this.
I thought.
No, it's crazy. Like, I don't know why anybody.
So groundbreaking too. I bet they're patting themselves on the dick every 5 seconds.
Look at this.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. They call each other babe the whole time. It's like kind of cringe. But I will say the one nice thing, the one takeaway from this was that they have daughters, and apparently they've made groundbreaking success with the daughters, and they've been spending a lot of time together, which is why she was so heartbroken that they made all of this like positive movement forward, but the two of them now can't connect. So the kids are now friends, but the two of them can't connect.
That's funny. What do you think groundbreaking behavior is from the kid? Like, do you think that Andrew Shue's son maybe goes one day without calling Amy Robach the whore that ruined his family? Is that what they consider groundbreaking?
I have no idea. No. They said that they had been having game nights.
Or that, sure. Same, really same energy.
Yes, spending time together. You got to listen to the podcast, though. It's a little, it's worth it.
I actually think I might now.
And it's funny because it's like they think they're like, this is a peek inside our world. Meanwhile, everyone calls them Amy and TJ. What's their names? Like no one even knows who they are. And they think that they're like pulling back the curtain on like these,
mega stars.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. I said 2 years ago, this was actually just a year and a little bit plus ago. It was December of 2022 when all this went down. And they were fired in January. And then December of 2023 is when they launched their podcast. And on the day they launched their podcast was the day that the world found out that their exes were dating each other. It was like they had waited specifically to that day just to fuck them up.
That's great.
Wait,
that's the bossest move maybe of all time, really.
And do we realize they've only had their podcast for 1.5 months and they're already breaking down?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't even do it.
They already
not even 90 days. Not
They're
even
like,
90
what
days.
are we going to do? This is all that we have.
They're making sure they're pulling season 8 tricks in the second month of their podcast because no one gives a shit about it, because it jumped the shark before they even hit record on the first episode. Well, this. So we're already peeking behind the curtain and hearing them fight. Here's what else happened in January of this year on like week 4 of this podcast. In the podcast, TJ said that he and Amy would be observing a dry January after spending $2,900 on alcohol in just December of 2023. Here's
Paula
the quote.
Paula sent me this exact article.
And the quote is, I could easily go through 18 drinks a day. I could easily have a drink in my hand from 2 p.m. until 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
How?
Wow, TJ. What? 18? Wow.
Hers was just as bad. I think hers was in the 30s. Where's the screenshot I sent you this morning? They both drink.
Wait, hold on, wait. No, Amy
Where's the
was
screenshot
like,
I sent you this morning? It was like between 30 drinks for one of them and 18 to 20 to the other one. They're raging alcoholics.
I don't. Even at my peak, I could not drink even close to that.
Amy was consuming over 30 alcoholic beverages a week.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
No idea.
How are you functioning?
And just how are you raising children? How are you starting?
Well, they're not. They're on vacation. They're in Cabo doing body shots off of each other.
Were they doing this also when they were on GMA? Like, I need to know the tea because that's a lot of drinks.
18
That's a
drinks.
lot of drinks.
I went to the duplex last week. I had 3 martinis and I got on a train to Philly when I was done. Yeah. I didn't even go I didn't even go. Where was I? I didn't even know.
Tell us about that. That's 18? More interesting than Amy and 18? TJ.
I'm joshing, but I really don't remember that Uber home. Thank God Dan and Seamus put me. Good Lord. They did text me that night. They're like, your glasses are at the bar. I'm like, well, I can't walk. So please mail them.
Oh my gosh.
It is.
God bless Dan and Seamus.
They're like, fuck, we fucked our lives up. Like, how did we let this happen? Now they're just drinking their sorrows away because they're like, I'm stuck with this fucking piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? That's what they're saying to each other. And then, but then there's all these little articles and like our paper of note people.com's Instagram is at fault for this. And I do fault them. There was new article, humongous plain air quotes articles about how they were like, our love is undying or something. Like every other day was like Amy to TJ : like our love is unbreakable or something like that. It was like so bad. But meanwhile, they're getting fucking wasted because they can't stand each other.
If you're in a relationship with someone who for a year, like, or less than a year, and this is a person who drinks 18 drinks in a day, I'm here to tell you to pack your things because you do not know who this person is, but you will within a few weeks of them getting sober. I mean, this is not a relationship. And by the way, I have felt that way from the moment I knew who they were and just looked into this. I'm like, these two people just want to fuck each other. This isn't a relationship at all. Like, it's so obvious to me from both of them. The energy is just like, this was an affair that got out of control. Let's try to market it.
Yeah, we were like banging on someone's desk in like the control room. Like,
yeah, like we get it, and good for you. You know, this is a sex positive podcast. However, the whole like this is not The Notebook. This is not Titanic. This is two sluts in New York who work together. It's a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
And you have to think
you don't
about
have to marry this person and have a podcast, go behind the scenes.
Well,
you
but
don't even, you know what, TJ? You don't even have to stop fucking drinking. Just go about your life. You guys don't belong together.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
was that
and
my
listen, they
pitch?
had to have been making several $1 million each a year. And now they've got a podcast on iHeartRadio. Like, how? What do you do?
I don't know.
How are you even going to make it work?
Than they do.
Well, they have. This is the thing.
Probably do.
Like, hosts aren't like, we don't actually want to know what hosts think for themselves. Like, they're supposed to usher in the like opinion person to give an opinion. So the fact that they're in uncharted waters, because they're like, I've never had to actually like think for myself. I've just had to like set up a guest to come on and then ask them questions. So the fact that like I think I'm doing like investigative journalism into my own life when I like sit down this woman in front of me and push play and like record our fight together is
episode
like
3.
They're out of their minds. Like they have
By the
no
way,
idea what they're doing.
I did not check this today. I did not have time, but both of them did just get on TikTok last week. It was they talked about it in their fight like 15 times.
Oh, brother.
They hired like
what?
a family friend. They hired a family friend to be their intern to set them up on TikTok.
This is so bad.
I did not have time to look, but I'm sure it's very cringe.
Tragic.
It's got to be tragic.
And like no one knows who you are or cares.
No.
At all.
Oh, they've both had their comments turned off on Instagram for the last year because they think they were getting a lot of hate on Instagram.
Like, shut your mouth. Right. Yeah.
And the intern encouraged them both to turn the comments back on. And they were pleasantly surprised to see that they actually had a ton of fair comments that were like endorsing their relationship and that they should just endorse their relationship and yada, 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 yada.
It's so funny because they've obviously been in show business or television news, which is the same thing, for a long time. They actually both have pretty storied careers.
However,
we didn't do the middle name, by the way.
Well, we didn't do their middle names. Dominic, we didn't do their middle names.
Oh my God.
Wow, Paula, good save. Good. Wow.
Sorry.
Paula, you have saved the entire hour. So this is good because you can actually mute my audio during this while you're searching. Amy Robach. All I can tell you is that she was born in the United States in East Lansing, Michigan in 1973. Now you have to guess what her middle name is, just based on knowing her name is Amy and that she's from East Lansing. Her birth last name is, in fact, Robach, which may or may not have been pronounced Robach by her family. Continue.
You're a mess.
Amy Robach.
I think it's Marie.
Marie.
You think it's Mary?
I think it's Marie.
Marie. Okay.
I feel like it's like Amy Jane. Amy Jane Robach. Robach. I think.
This is
no.
It is not exact. It is not exact.
Stop.
It is without a doubt the closest I believe anyone's gotten to guessing the actual name.
No.
Amy Joanne Robach.
Paula. Yeah. So close.
Oh my gosh.
So
Does this mean that I
fucking
can
close.
be the third person on your podcast? Like the third. Can I be the third co-host? Wait, no, I
Middle
didn't.
name correspondent Paula Sanders. No, it's
Just bring me in
that's
every
pretty
week for that.
close.
Wow,
That's pretty
Joanne.
close.
Wow. Good
Amy
job,
Joanne.
Paula. Good job, Paula.
Now let's move on to TJ Holmes. Born in 1977 in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Technical question.
Is Jay his
TJ's
middle name?
Exactly.
I should look at these prior so you don't get to see my non-poker face when you're asking questions, because it's a trick. It's a TJ does serve as his middle name. By the way, TJ Holmes has had many affairs, I might add.
Well, we have to bring that up. Once we are done with this, we have to bring it back up. He's also hot. Like, I get it.
He's very,
like, if he was like hitting on me at work, I'd be like, hello. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't marry him though, or start a podcast with him, for God's sakes, or leave my spouse. I'd be like, I'm sorry. He's hot. I had to do it. Wouldn't you?
Babe. In this podcast, it's like, listen, babe. Listen, babe. Listen, babe.
babe. Vomit.
Listen, babe.
So really, I'm not seeing anywhere online that he has an actual middle name. He does go by TJ, and he is a junior. So really, you would be guessing his first name.
Okay. So we're guessing his first name.
Yeah.
Is it Thomas?
No.
Fuck.
Ooh, shoot. Not Thomas. Okay. He's not giving me like a Timothy vibe. Terrence.
You're going to hate him even more when this is over because it's like there's no explanation of where the T in TJ is from because the name doesn't begin with a T.
Oh, brother. What is it?
What?
His
Who
name
is this person?
Lutelius TJ Holmes Jr.
Nope.
Lutelius TJ Holmes Jr. Loutelious TJ Holmes Jr.
Yep. Okay, well, we were never going to guess that, so I don't know why you dragged
No,
this
it was a trick within a trick. He's an asshole.
Jesus
This fuck.
Christ.
Yeah, he's a tricky,
okay, so get ready for this. Before his romance with Amy Robach, TJ Holmes allegedly had 3 affairs with female colleagues who held subordinate positions at ABC.
Oh, God.
Wow. So
I don't know that those things are resolved.
Okay, so it's not like The Notebook, but it is like The Morning Show on Apple Plus is what it is.
A little bit, yeah.
It's not a notebook. It's more of like a tawdry, erotic pamphlet more than a notebook, you know? This has to be over soon. Maybe instead of fixing them, we'll take guesses on when this relationship is going to expire because I just feel like they're going to do everything they can, by the way, to make this work. And I mean everything. They're going to publicly have an open relationship. Watch. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to try to be sex positive champions and whatever they need to do to not break up with each other because their spouses are going to go the mile. That's what I think.
Well, if Marriage Boot Camp was like still on the air, they would have been on there in 0 seconds flat.
Absolutely.
What's to say they won't reboot it? Look how ambitious they are. They're already like week 3 is a very special episode. Week 4 is a declaration of their addiction and receipts for what they're spending on alcohol. Like, what are they?
It's true.
Is she going to get a boob job in episode 5? Like, what are we talking about? He gets a vasectomy? What happens?
Truly, a dick enlargement, like something ridiculous.
Clearly, he doesn't need it. He's getting all the girls.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he needs the enlargement. Lutelius has got the legendary.
She is beautiful. She is really beautiful.
No, they're hot. Like
whoever is doing her highlights should also win an Emmy if they haven't already. Like
if it was 2002, like my fix would be like do a sex tape, like, and then you'd be like huge celebrities.
Yeah. They could bring back the sex tape, though.
I know, really.
They
honestly.
can bring
but
back.
Like,
it's been a long time since someone got sex tape fame. Yeah.
She's 50. She looks great.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing her work is sensational.
Yeah, she looks very natural. Maybe she hasn't had any. Who knows? Maybe it's just makeup for now.
Come on.
But Dominic, before we forgot the middle names, you were saying like they've both been in show business for a long time, and then you paused very intensely, and I said, however,
they're producing this relationship. You know what I mean? It's like they thought like we are so smart, they're not going to fuck with us, and then GMA was like goodbye, and they sort of took it on the chin, went out holding hands, and they're like, I know that they think they're too smart to let this go away. They think they're going to produce their way around it by doing all these very special episodes and being really romantic. And they think that that's going to appeal to someone. And I just don't think that it is.
Well, and then they're both like, we're like 2 raging alcoholics that are blackout drunk every day. Like they went from being like, no, like our love knows no bounds. And we're like solidified together because of our love that blossomed over our affairs. Like they have to do that because then the affairs like are okay because they've like now found love. You know what I mean?
But they're going backwards. It's just like we found love. We couldn't take it anymore. And then like, well, P.S. we're also raging alcoholics, which really, as far as the narrative goes, means everything from the past 2 years should be taken with a grain of salt or erased. Please forgive us.
Yeah. Well,
this is them going to rehab. This is them going to rehab. It's them like, we fucked up. And so now we're going to pretend that we have a substance problem. Like half the celebrities that go into rehab after saying something racist or
and now they're trying to be relatable.
Right?
And now they're trying 100%. Now they're trying to be relatable. So that's why they did this whole let's go back a little bit. So they turned their comments back on Instagram, like I said, a few weeks ago. And they were getting all these comments that were saying to them, oh my gosh, you two look so happy. You two look so happy. But deep down inside, the both of them felt that they were not happy. So that's why they wanted to shoot this podcast together to show the world, because they felt like they were imposters. So now they want to be relatable. by showing that they fight too, just like everybody else. So they're overproducing even this aspect of their life, which is crazy. It's
At
crazy.
every turn, they're doing the wrong thing. If people think you look happy, just fucking lie. And be like,
I would love to know their numbers. I would love to know their numbers. Who's listening? Because who would really want to listen to 40 minutes of people arguing?
I don't know. They must be doing okay. I mean, I bet just there's like a curiosity factor, but I bet it will fall off. Like,
they're going to kill each other
is the whole thing about them? Is the whole podcast just about their stupid relationship?
Well, iHeart doesn't play. Like, if your numbers are not up, you're out of there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. That's corporate. You know what I mean? That's
yeah. You're right. You're right. But that's probably why they're stressed.
We'll see in a year if it's still there.
They mentioned ratings like 5 times in that episode. They mentioned their ratings like 5. We have to worry about the ratings and the ratings and the ratings.
Oh,
so
I hate these people. I don't like
terrible.
these people.
They're just terrible.
Don't talk about ratings. Just give us the product.
Exactly. Well, it was a hassle for them to think about them.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard. I know working is hard. They
seem to have a hard time. It's like
you're in
the business of getting ratings and you don't really like to talk about them. It's sort of like when you're married to someone, you got to remember that they're also there before you start cheating with a coworker.
No, but that's when it's like, oh, the ratings. It's like their only worry should be the ratings. Like it's the only thing they should worry about as a news anchor.
Right.
Is that you get good ratings. So this isn't new.
Well, January,
oh God. And this is the other thing. Again, when I see a host or an anchor, like I don't want them to be relatable. I want them to be like someone who's bringing me the story that I want to hear, and they're going to usher this interesting, relatable person through the story. Like, do you know what I mean? Totally. Does that make sense?
I want to feel like I'm in good hands. Yeah. You want to feel like someone's
I don't want to know what's going on in their life. Yeah.
Not at all.
Don't want to.
Like when remember when they pretended like Ryan Seacrest was dating Julianne Hough for like a long time? Remember when that was like, we all pretended that we believed that?
I don't remember
I was like,
that.
This is too
I
much.
Didn't know until this moment that it wasn't true. I thought they were dating.
No, they were dating, guys, quote unquote.
I don't think he likes to date
it was
women.
A publicity stunt?
I think I'm saying the whole relationship was a publicity stunt. Correct. It's like, I didn't want to know that. Like, I don't need. And like, did Julianne Hough get a comeuppance off of that? Not a good enough one to still be famous. Sorry.
Yeah. Ryan Seacrest is the type of person who, like, naked, I want him to have the anatomy of a Ken doll. Like, I just want to see a smooth pelvis. I don't want him to have sex with anybody. I just want him to host things.
Correct.
Right.
And I love that.
Poor Ryan.
No, but
he's laughing all the way to the bank. So.
I just don't see him as a sexual being.
No, but
these two
is what I am saying is that you want them to be, and it's not fair, but it's true. You want them to be this like amorphous being that's like helping you, not someone who's getting blackout drunk the minute that they leave work to like deal with their life that's falling apart.
They're the narrator.
I can hear you. You could have just texted it to me, Chris, instead of saying it in front of our 4 million listeners.
Dominic, if that's what I wanted from you, we would never have gotten this far in this podcast.
Oh, I just meant being blackout drunk after work.
No, 100. Me too.
That was it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to pitch.
Anything else we need to say before? They're really to sum it up, they're really trying to be famous and they're doing a terrible job of it. Terrible.
And now they have a mission. They've got to stay famous, and they're in a couple war because their exes are very low key
and very hot.
And they are both very hot and they're very low key. And that's a relationship which, although it was started by trauma, so you need to be careful, kids, just a little, just a little word of wisdom from an elderly person. Just be careful. It doesn't mean it won't work, but it seems sort of genuine. And even if it's not, the fact that it's pissing off Amy Robach and TJ Lutelius Holmes, God love them. That's a relationship. I will give money to a GoFundMe if I feel like it will help the Andrew Shue, Marilee Freibig relationship.
I think that Lutelius needs to be put in the glossary of terms. We haven't talked about that. Like, I have a whole list of them, but
what's the definition of the Lutelius? Like, what is
the first name? The first name of TJ Holmes. I don't even know their.
I feel like we need to talk a little bit about. I think we need to talk about his penis in that as well, because it is like the legendary part of the story,
name
right?
of like a man whose dick is like running through bitches left and right. Like, yeah,
we go.
We'll add to it.
The penis that destroyed Good Morning America.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Name of the owner of the penis. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I heard Robin Roberts has been utterly disgusted by this entire state of affairs. I'm not even making it up. That she's been like furious about it.
Yeah, she's probably like, ew. Also, you guys were on like the hour 7. That's why no one knows who you are.
I didn't even know there was a 7th hour of GMA until this whole thing happened, because
it's wild.
Yes.
Well, that's why we were all like, who? Huh? What?
What hour is 7? Is that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
No, well, it's the 3rd hour, but it's just on. And this is my theory, which I've said before. If you are airing when McDonald's is serving lunch, you need to call yourself Good Afternoon America. Yeah. You need to change the title. Stop.
There we go.
It's not morning anymore if you're still here. All right. Are we entering the zone?
I think we are.
Chris, you are up.
Amy, TJ Lutelius, Thomas James Lutelius. I wanted you guys, like, I truly almost pitched a sex tape, like them doing, or like doing an OnlyFans, something like that. But that's not the fix. It just isn't. It would be funny, but it's not the fix. I think, okay, so their podcast sucks. It doesn't know what it's like. It's crazy. They need to do what they do best, which is be on camera together and have palpable sexual tension. And so what they're going to do is that they are going to reboot E! News, and they are going to be the 2 lead anchors of E! News. E! Entertainment has nothing going for it at all. Like, they have the Daily Pop, which I don't know when that's on. Like, I know that Justin Sylvester and that Nia girl, or what is her name? Like, Nina something. Like, they're on there and it's funny. Couldn't tell you when it airs. Couldn't tell you a guest that's on it. I just know that they're on it. What other shows does E! have? Nothing. What do we always want to go to E! for? Entertainment news. And E! is enough where they can like make jokes about them having affairs with their spouses on each other. And that won't be like they can't go to Entertainment Tonight. They can't go to Access Hollywood, but they can go to E! News, and they can like be like, oh, haha, when we were drinking the other night, like that's acceptable for E! Entertainment. And they need to do the job that they normally do, which is be anchors and hosts. And so that is going to draw people to E! News, and that is my fix.
Fixing multiple things at once. I really like that.
Wow.
Thank you.
Amy Robach. Do we think that Robach is actually the German word for robust? I've been thinking that for the entire hour.
No.
Amy Robach and Lutelius Holmes. I don't even have a circus pitch, and I think CNN just got rid of their morning show, finally. Like, they tried to rebrand with Don Lemon and then all that shit. I would put Amy and TJ. I almost feel like, what does CNN have to lose at this point? Just give them the morning show on CNN. Give them the morning show on CNN. It's sort of like a whorish version of Mika and Joe on MSNBC. I'm not 100% sure that it would do well, but I bet it would for the first couple of weeks. And then it's sort of like, yeah, give them that. Let them go to CNN for a minute. They're already news people. They would have to be fully divorced and at least engaged, though, to do it. Like, we would need proof of life for this relationship, or scratch that last part. I want them to break up. How dare you? This is not a debate, Mr. Trump. Keep your mouth shut. Shut his mic off, Megan.
Turn it off.
I do want them to host a morning show on CNN, but I don't think that they need to be further along in their relationship, because I think them breaking up on the air would be great.
Well, they'll do it happily.
Do that on iHeart.
They'll do it happily. Yeah.
They practically did that last week. So,
and that's my pitch. A little boring for me. My pitch is that they do the new, because I believe CNN is morning showless at the moment, and I think they should give it to them. and they should compete with Mika and Joe.
So the choices are we host on CNN or we host on E! News. I feel like this is something like the presidential election. We have all of these options, but we only get these 2 idiots to choose from.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, wow, this is hard. Being I know nothing about CNN, because does this look like a face that watches political news? I'm
it
gonna have
stands
to
for
go.
Cable News Network. I should have given background.
What's CNN's middle name? News.
News. And I would have been like, I don't know, nothing. Okay, guys, wow. I think for this one, I'm going to have to, just because I relate more with the E! News Network. And I truly think that the 2 of them, if they're going to go back into the space of hosting on television, they're going to need to be like fun and flouncy and flirty. And they're not going to be able to get away with that on CNN. So that's why I'm going to have to go with Chris on this one. I'm sorry, Dominic. I still love
Don't. I think I actually also go with Chris on this one.
No, you threw Dominic. You threw this one for me.
I don't know that I did. I did not throw it.
You just copied off of Chris.
I just think it was a bit. I don't know that I was thinking about entertainment news. I was thinking. My idea definitely switched when you talked about E! News, and I was like, oh, they should be the new Joe and Mika.
Yeah,
the horror version, but they belong. Yours was the better idea. I would never throw it. And in fact, in the record that I keep, I'm going to write that I won anyway. So it doesn't really even matter. No one's ever going to know. So at the end of the year, when I'm like, I won by 1 again, wink, wink,
wink, wink.
No one's ever going to know. No,
so are we going to listen to their podcast or what? What are we thinking?
Yeah,
I think we could just be like, do you want to come on our podcast? And they'd be like, okay.
They need to get their numbers up. They have to go to the 6th most listened to podcast in the true crime category.
Thank you
that's
so
right.
much.
That's right. In the true crime category.
This is true crime, this episode.
It's unfolding crime. It's live crime.
It's breaking news, all right.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
The fact that Paula had to listen to their podcast of them arguing is true crime, okay?
I mean, I needed to come prepared. I was like, shit, I don't even know who these people are. I think, what did I call them? Allie and AJ? Like, what did I say when I wrote you back? I was like, oh, wait, no, I'll take Allie and AJ. Wait, what?
Oh, my God. You shading the choices, though, is my favorite part of this entire hour. You basically called us Biden and Trump. That's how bad the ideas were this week. You know what that is? And I won't even deny that. This is not our best work. Chris's idea is clearly better, but
the subject matter lacks.
That's it. I think that they're not unfixable, but they're just smarmy and gross, and like the way they've gone about this is so shitty. It's just like, I don't even know if we could save you. You're just like,
do you think they're paying for all this publicity? Do you think that they're doing this?
It's just easy because they had an affair and they were in morning like it's basically the morning show come to life. So they're like, this is easy.
I guess
like,
so. Do you think they did it for the plot?
But now they have like notoriety, quote unquote. And so they think that makes them celebrities, and it does not. That is that therein lies the problem. And to quote my partner, Hassan, they do not have it.
No,
they do not have star power at all. They need to be hosts, and they need to not do a podcast where they like do an Instagram live of them having a fight.
like truly. They were like, even iHeart doesn't know that we're going to send them this unscripted audio.
No, they're going that rogue.
Yes, you have to listen to this episode. I'm sending it to both of you. That's your homework.
Imagine the iHeart person that's just like, oh, fuck. Like, what the fuck is this?
Like, you have to do
and then
right.
you have to like edit it and then be like,
we have a surprise for you, iHeart. It's 27 hours of Amy and I bickering about things like toast.
As we're like guzzling out of a bottle.
Exactly. And we're also wasted.
Well, actually, it was during dry January because I think this was a few weeks ago. So they were doing edibles because they got caught coming out of the smoke shop. They were taking edibles.
These two, I've had it. I've had it.
There's no way. Like they don't have the star
No.
power, and they think that they do. And
Very
just 'cause you're
clearly,
reported on people.com's Instagram, although it is our Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that's not a celebrity does that make.
I can their dev meetings, which is just them in bed, obviously. I can only even imagine they're just like
them
wait till they get a load of this.
No.
Wait till they hear us fighting. I mean, like the GMA got rid of the two best producers they'll ever have. No,
them in bed, like while he's pushing her face into a pillow. That's like what what the dev meeting is. Like for real.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yowza.
Amy, Lutelius TJ, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You can take our ideas.
Ryan Seacrest Productions, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's who's going to be producing the reboot of E! News, obviously, right?
Paula Sanders of World's Your Oysta podcast. We love you. We've been there. You've been here. We're going to keep going back and forth until one or all of us are dead. That's the threat.
I
I'm
love
giving
that.
you right now.
I love
Thank
that
you for being
us.
here. This was a ton of fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for having me. This has been such a blast. You know that I'm such a huge fan of the show, and I personally cannot wait to listen to this episode. But while you're listening, guys, I am having Dominick and Chris on my show, World's Your Oysta, on Friday. So you can listen wherever, and you can also watch it on YouTube so you can finally see their faces. Oh, I got you, boys.
I didn't know we were being videotaped.
So join us. We have a blast. We're not fixing anybody, but I just might fix the two of them. You'll have to come.
We
and
go
see.
unhinged. We're very unhinged in that interview. We were being full cartoon mode. We were in circus mode for sure.
Yeah.
My producer was like, I don't know who that girl was that hosted that episode, but like, I really loved it.
Paula, thank you so much. Come back whenever you want to talk about whoever you want. Tell us one more time where people can find you.
So people can find me at PS It's Me and then 123 underscores on Instagram. I don't really do TikTok, and you can find the podcast on Instagram at World Your Oysta, OYSTA podcast. And also at www.worldsyouroysta.com. I also have a newsletter and a blog, and I'm doing like all the things. I do so much.
If you want a good newsletter, Paula's it's like beautiful when I open it up. It like is so soothing. It's all my favorite colors, like these browns and beiges that are very like nice and chic. It's the best. Paula, thank you so much.
Subscribe. Oh, thank you, boys. Love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Dominick, where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me at my website, which is domentary.com, or on the socials where I am at Dominick Pupa. Chris, where can the listeners of this podcast locate you? Say like on their phones or tablets if they wanted to do so.
You guys can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople.
Sorry. I got progressively more stoned as this went on.
I can tell.
I apologize to you both. I might have hit that pen that last time.
Well, Dominick apologizes to us. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelly? Goodbye.
Goodbye.